Hello everyone and welcome to this seminar where we will take a deep dive into circular and more sustainable packaging. I'm Ann-Sofie and I'm Chief Sustainability Officer at Boxon Group.
Yes, and I'm Adam. I'm the manager for PCS, Packaging Concept Solutions.
And we are very happy that you invest time in this very important topic that we will take you through and guide you through today. Zero waste. That's part of the Sustainable Development Goals until 2030. And is it even possible to have zero waste? Many of you have probably heard that it will be more plastic than fish in the ocean by 2050. And the reason is, of course, that the pollution of waste, and in this case, plastic waste, is increasing. And with the speed that we have today, the plastic pollution will increase with 40% the coming 10 years. And the challenge is that our production and consumption pattern is built on sort of wear and tear. And that is that we are relying on raw material that to a large extent are not reused or nor recycled. And that means that we need a new flow of new virgin raw material into the system. And this is a linear model, and what we have gradually transferred to, but we are not there yet, is to a circular model. And the circular model is where products and materials are reused and recycled over and over again with no leakage out of the system. And this is really what we are going to talk about today, that how we can make sure that the products and the packaging that we are utilizing are kept into the system, and how we can ensure that we are working with material that is possible to keep in the system. So Adam, why is zero waste important for you when you are developing products as you are working with every day? And also, what does it mean for your product development?
For our product development, I think that we always consider the protection of the product at first, of course. Then we have design and application. Also say no to the non-essentials, which is then refuse or substitution. Maybe then I also adopt to a more minimalistic tendencies, which is reduce, and give the items a second life, which is reuse. And of course, least but not last, recycled packaging.
So what you really are thinking of is then to reduce material. It's where it's possible to reuse material or products, or to make sure that it's possible to keep it in the flow.
Yes, exactly.
But before we continue on this topic, we will just give you Boxon Group in brief shortly. And we are a packaging solution company that was founded in 1932, so we are more than 90 years old within the packaging business. And we are present in 8 countries. We are present in the Nordic countries, in France and Germany, in China, and now recently we have started up in Thailand. We have distribution centers around Nordic and in Europe and in China. And we have products in stock to be able to be lean and fast. We have many customers, international, multinational customers that are working with us in all countries. We have national customers and we have local customers. So we are a partner for all type of customers for standard products or tailor-made packaging solutions. And now we will protect our promise, the protector of things.
When you send something away that you care about, you want to make sure it arrives safely. You may need someone by your side, someone who can design the optimized protective packaging Someone whose innovative thinking can streamline things in a way that will benefit both your business and the planet. Someone who is adaptive and creative when communicating important information to the recipient. You know when you've found that someone.
So we are the protector of things, the things that you care about, the packaging and the products. And packaging is not only about protecting your things and our customer things. It's about also safety, that we have packaging that are safe for the people that are handling the packaging in our value chain. And it's about usability, that the packaging is easy to handle and easy to work with if you are 150 centimeters tall or if you're 190 centimeters tall. It should be simple for everyone. And of course, it's about sustainability. It's about how we can provide with packaging solution that is good for both the people and the planet. And why is it so important with sustainable packaging? The world and Europe is facing a huge challenge with waste. Each European generates almost 180 kilo of packaging waste per year. And this is of course very much driven by consumer packaging, but this also includes secondary and transport packaging. And this is why it's so important to discuss this, that how can we decrease the waste? And there are also legal demands now on the EU level to decrease the waste and to increase circularity. And if we look here, we can see that overall recycling rate on the EU level is 46%. And packaging waste is actually above the average recycling rate. So here is around 64% of all packaging waste that is turned into recycling. And if we look into the two materials that we are working with a lot, paper and corrugated and plastics, we can see that paper and corrugated has an 84 recycling rate in Europe, 68 in US and 46 in China. So paper and corrugated is recycled to a high degree. When it comes to plastics, it's much less. And we really hope and are also encouraging investments in the recycling plastic infrastructure so that this rate can increase. So today we have around 30% average recycling rate in Europe. Some countries have higher, Netherlands are in the top, and some countries are lower, but in average it's 30%. In US it's only 5% of plastic, recycled plastic that is turned in, and in China 17%. But together we can make a difference, and that's why we are sitting here today and investing time into this topic. And if we look into this circular economy system, in the outer loop, the green, the bluish one, you can see the value chain. So we have the resource extraction, this the raw material, we have the design of products and solutions, we have the manufacturing, the distribution to the users that are using it, and then it might go to recovery or go directly to waste. But that's how it has looked like since many years back. That's the value chain. And what we need to change now fully to 100% is that we need to work with the inner loops, the blue ones. So the first inner loop is about reusing and repairing the things that we are utilizing. So it could be by reusing packaging, but it should be designed for reuse, but that the packaging can be reused. Perhaps packaging can be repaired or even resold. And you can see already now when it comes to retail and clothes and furniture and so on, it's very much in this inner loop that furnitures are reused or they are repaired, or clothes are reused and repaired instead of thrown away. And there's a lot of second-hand sales as well now. Many retailers even have second-hand sales of their products in their stores today. And then if it's resold, it can be then distributed back to the users in one way or another. Then the other loop is recovery. And here we have remanufacturing and refurbishing. And that is when the products goes directly from the users then to the manufacturing, or where it's collected from the users to the manufacturing. And one example is this chair. If we take this chair as one example, is that after some years, perhaps the only thing that is needed is new textile. It doesn't need new design, etc. It's new textile that is needed. So it can go directly to the manufacturing and get new textiles and then go back into the value chain and be sold to new users. The third loop is about recycling, and that's very much where we are in the packaging industry. Many of our products goes into recycling. And that's where the products then are teared down into new raw material and goes into new products, design new products or manufactured. And of course, recycling also could go directly to the manufacturing, but then we call it a closed loop. And this circular economy system has values for the business. And the first most obvious one is that the costs for raw material is reduced as we are reutilizing the raw material in one way or another. The other part is that that is a value for the business is that we are decreasing the greenhouse gases emissions as we use less resources. And this, if you haven't started to count your greenhouse gas emissions, you will the coming years as we have new legislations that demand companies to do that. And then, of course, a value is that less resources overall is used. This also gives new business opportunities. For example, the inner loop there with reselling. We have actually in the packaging industry, we see some companies that actually have second-hand sales of packaging. And also, of course, possibility of different types of models for reusability and new type of solutions. But also remanufacturing and even recycling is a business opportunity. And the circular economy is also regulated on an EU level. The European Green Deal is a package of new policy initiatives which aims to set EU on the path of a green transition with the goal of reaching climate neutral in the EU by 2050. And within the Green Deal, there is something that is called the New Circular Economy Plan. The Circular Economy Plan was actually established already in 2015, but in 2023 there was a new Circular Economy Plan that was released. And the purpose of this Circular Economy Plan is actually targeting packaging specifically, and with the aim to reduce over-packaging, meaning unnecessary packaging, and packaging waste. And the Circular Economy Plan has targets to decrease waste, and also the New Circular Economy Action Plan will drive design for reuse of packaging and ensure recyclability, that is possible to recycle all packaging. And some countries are already in the forefront of this to adapt to this New Circular Economy Action Plan. And UK is one example. Already in 2023, they introduced a plastic tax. And that means that they have a plastic tax for all plastic packaging that contains less than 30% post-consumer recycled plastic. And that means that if you want to avoid a plastic tax for packaging in UK, you need to ensure that you have 30% post-consumer recycled plastics in the packaging. And other countries are following. Spain introduced a similar tax for all single-use plastics and plastic packaging in 2023, and Italy is on the way to 2024. So this is an example of countries that are taking some steps ahead of the legislation. At Boxon, we always want to turn challenges into opportunities. And we believe there is a lot of opportunities in this circular economy and how we can turn our solutions to become circular. And actually, we have been working with several of these principles since start. Is part of our DNA, and we will explain why. But first, before we introduce our circular packaging principles, I just would like to emphasize that if you're interested in circular business and circular packaging, or any circular business actually, have a look into Ellen MacArthur Foundation, because there is a lot of guidelines, inspiration, and knowledge for how you can turn your business to become circular. And we are utilizing 3 circular packaging principles when we are developing products. The first and the most simple one that we have done for many, many years is that we reduce as much packaging material we can when we are developing solutions, simply by smart and intelligent solutions. We are looking into and designing for usability when it's possible to be able to reuse the packaging many times. And we want to ensure that the material is circulating in order to prevent waste. And that comes into the next section of this webinar, where we will introduce Boxon's circular packaging principle in practice. And Adam will guide you through how we do this in reality, and you will show us a lot of practical examples and products as well.
Yes, thank you so much, Ann-Sofie. Going a little bit more into detail, so to speak, when it comes to Boxon circular packaging principles in practice. So, just as Ann-Sofie just told us here, we are looking into the 3 principles, which is the first principle, reducing packaging material. Our second principle is to reuse, well, that is packaging designed for reuse. And the third principle, material circulation. Material circulation, we also have some parts where we dig a little bit more deeper, and we also want to increase the renewable materials such as paper, and often this paper is FSC certified. We want to increase post-consumer recycled material, which is then mostly connected to plastic. And we want to ensure 100% recyclability for all packaging at end of life. We have tried to make it a little bit more easier for our customers to recognize some of these parts with some symbols. On the top, you can see the sustainability or the sustainable products symbol that we have. In the bottom, we have recycling, which is then a symbol for showing that the product is 100% recyclable. And we have our FSC certification logo. As an example on the first principle when it comes to reducing packaging material, here we can see a customer case where we have made a 100% reduction of the plastic fillings. We have also made a product or the solution a little bit smarter and a little bit better, which then gives us 30% less corrugated paper. We also increased the pallet load by 5 times. We optimized the use of material, and there is no additional need for void fill or closure. Maybe the biggest benefits or the biggest benefit of it all was actually that we could decrease the CO2 with between 30 and 40%. Then the second principle, reuse. Well, packaging designed for reuse. Maybe the most simple product that we can come up with right now, at least, is the moving box. It's designed for reuse in multiple times. It's also made 100% recyclable in plastic since it's made from corrugated or paper material. We also see two different customer cases. In the one in the middle, we have had a customer solution where the product was printed before, and now they have removed that. And by that, the product or the solution is possible to use multiple times by maybe other companies. We also have our PAM bag, which is used for, or it's able to be reused over 20 times. The third principle is material circulation. We work a lot with renewable material, and I will show you some examples. Well, we have the corrugated box, which is of course made from 100% renewable material, also FSC certified. It could be that we are offering e-commerce bags, which is made from a gross paper material. When it comes to material circulation and post-consumer recycled material, we have our e-commerce bag, which is made from 100% recycled material. We have also printed the bag, so it makes it easy for the customer then to know how to recycle it again and again and again. Recyclability in practice. We have our stretch film reuse, which is a transparent and a single material, which then makes it really, really easy to recycle. We also have our paper wave bag or e-commerce bag, where you have only one solid material and it's renewable and made from paper. Substitution. Many of our customers, they actually use maybe plastic cushioning products like the one that we see on the screen. Or I have two other different solutions here. If you don't want to use plastic, there is actually always or almost always a possibility to do a substitution to paper material. And as we see and heard Ann-Sofie speak about before regarding the recycling rate, we clearly see that paper and corrugated are recycled on a higher level maybe than plastic. I will also show some more examples of products and materials, and maybe that's a little bit more into the future than the products that we have just seen. For instance, we have maybe plastic in a new way. We are looking into a cellulose-based polymer, which is made from a bio-based carbon content of between 40 and 60%. So actually here we have a plastic which is made from wood. Cushioning material, something that we're also looking into. We have different types of products or materials that are from 80% recycled material, but we also have products that are made from renewable material as a tall oil-based product. When it comes to stretch film, we are looking into increase the share of recycled material. So here in front of me, I have a quite common product, which is now a stretch film made from 30% or have 30% recycled material in the product. But we also are now looking into how we could have 100% recycled material in the product. This, of course, gives us 100% less virgin material. So this is a really good thing to look into. We're also looking into blister packs on how we can do them better, how we can make them more sustainable. In these options that we look at here, we have both paper made from FSC certified material, but we also have the blister in itself made from a renewable PET material. Least but not last, we are offering, and we do have some customer already getting hooked on this, new big bags with 30% recycled PP material. This is something that we will try to offer all of our customers, depending, of course, about what type of application and what type of other legislations there are, which could prevent us from using it. But this is something that we really want to push for in the future.
Thank you, Adam. It's very interesting to see the development, and a lot is happening in the packaging industry and with new materials and new opportunities. And we would just like to summarize very shortly what we have gone through before we take a couple of questions that we have got. And that is that we have serious challenging with waste, and it's so important to meet the zero waste vision by 2030. We need 100% circular business. And at Boxon, we are working with 3 circular principles when we are developing packaging to reduce material, reuse material, and ensure material circulation. And our key movements going forward is with packaging that are 100% renewable, with recycled content or made of recyclable material. So in short, that is where we are heading and going forward, and we are on a good way already, as the majority of our range is made of renewable or recycled material.
Yes.
But we have some questions that are coming up. And one question is that, is it really good to have the e-commerce bag in black? Is it possible to recycle it again?
Yes, it is. Of course, this product should be recycled a lot of times. What we need to reconsider, of course, is yes, you can make the product in a transparent material, but I guess there's not a lot of customer wants their products sent out in a transparent bag. So that's why you color the bag. But it's made from, as I said before, 100% recycled material, which is then 100% less virgin material used, and the product should be recycled again and again. Today, the recycling in itself is not totally built out to be able to take care of this type of product when they are colored. But I guess in the future we will see that evolution is going, and we now see chemical recycling coming more and more, which we then could actually recycle these type of products as well.
Yeah. And that's, of course, why it's so important to always recycle plastic, even if you saw from the figures that it's around average 30% in Europe, because we need to get used to it, and we need to sort of to build out a system so that we can improve, and also new techniques which will in the future cover more plastic, so that we can more or less recycle all type of plastics.
Absolutely.
And then there's a question that we have got from many customers in retail and our account managers that are working with retail customers, and that is, what is best? A paper e-commerce bag with FSC paper, of course, or a plastic e-commerce bag that is made of 100% recycled material? And both of them are marked as sustainable products in our system, we should say.
They are, because they are good, and in each part they are a really good option. If you want to go for the plastic bag, well, it's quite thin and then also lightweighted. If you want a more maybe renewable material, you go towards the paper version. But that is all depending on, of course, on the application, where you're going to use it. If the customer is in a moist environment or something like that, I would say that maybe the plastic version is better. But if you not are willing to have plastic in your company, then paper is a really good option. once again, just as you said before, the recycling rate is higher within paper and corrugated than for plastic. So that maybe tells us a little bit on where it's heading.
Yes, and also, of course, it depends on in which country you are sending out
Absolutely.
these e-commerce bags, which also is something for the customers to consider.
Yeah, infrastructure, yes.
Yes. Another question that we have is that if Boxen can provide with reusable packaging solutions. And we have shown some examples, and we have more examples of packaging solutions that are possible to reuse. But this is an area that we are extremely interesting to elaborate more around, and we think there will be a lot of development within this area. But in order to have reusable packaging solutions, there needs also to be, it needs to be valid so that we don't transport sort of empty packaging.
Absolutely.
And that is why we are very interested if you as customers has some ideas around where it could be valuable and valid in your distribution and in your flow. We are more than interested to discuss this. So hopefully we have some more good cases, and we actually have some pilots going on with reusable packaging that hopefully we can share some more about in the next year, hopefully already. That was the questions that we had for today, and we are very happy that you have invested time into this important topic. We will continue with our webinars, and if you have something particular that you're interested to know more about, please reach out to us. Or if you want to discuss more about circular and more sustainable packaging solution, Adam and I are more than happy to support. And of course, your account manager is there as well to discuss those topics. So reach out to us if you're interested to know more, or if you have any good cases or solution that you would like to test and explore. So until next time, we say thank you for joining.
Thank you.
And have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.